Internet! Welcome to the video that is definitely a day late this week, but rather than wait until next week and apologize profusely for missing a week, I really wanted to put out the video for this week because tomorrow is the official start of Pride in the UK. Yay! I'm excited. And I wanted to make sure that this video got out on time. So here we are, just a day late. Sorry about that. For this week, I wanted to do a bit of a tribute to Pride in my manner, but as an unapologetically ace woman, I usually have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to relationships, straight or otherwise. So I reached out to some friends of mine who do know what they're talking about, who gave me some opinions and examples that we're going to be talking about today. So because these friends are women, most of these characters that I'm going to be talking about are bisexual or lesbian women. So this video is the good, the bad, and the ugly, but I'm actually going to order it from bad to worse and then end it on good because I don't want to end on a happy note. So even though it's the good, the bad, and the ugly, we're going to do it the bad, the ugly, and the good. First thing I want to talk about, gay people always die. Charlie from Supernatural. Now, I myself did a little bit of research into Charlie's demise because I remember when this happened and it wasn't a fun time. And the explanation behind that was even worse than just we needed someone to kill. So I read in an interview that Charlie was there because they needed a female presence, but they made her a lesbian because female viewers hate the mere idea of the Winchesters being with anybody except each other. They're brothers. Like, I know I don't understand chemistry. They are brothers, or with Castiel, and they hate that so much that they thought they could compensate by making Charlie a lesbian. Cool, fine. And then they just killed her. Just sort of randomly. Why? Because the viewers didn't want a girl in the show. So that's just horrible. You're taking a really bad situation and making it like a million times worse with these awful connotations, and I don't know. And Pusey from Orange is the New Black. Now, Pusey's death in Orange is the New Black was it's a pretty big deal. People were unhappy, and rightfully so. She and her girlfriend were due to get out of prison. They were going to lead happy lives together, and then it was just over in a scene that is very uncomfortable to watch. I have noticed that myself as a problem in not straight relationships of every sort across fiction is that a lot of times if a gay character is killed, it is always right after there's this big lead up to this happy life they're going to live together. Doing it that way, I don't know if that was supposed to make us care more about the person who's dying, but all it does is just rub it in our faces that these, in this case, lesbian characters cannot have that happy life that was promised to them, and that's just not fair. So that's the bad. Now for the ugly. A lot of gay relationships end sadly, whether they end in breakups, like in Call Me By Your Name, or death as in the characters mentioned before, but sometimes being gay, mostly actually being a lesbian, is portrayed in certain fictional stories as the result of sexual assault. And now this could be that woman being raped makes her a lesbian, or getting raped fixes her lesbianism. And that can happen in two different ways. If the woman is raped by another woman and this turns her into a lesbian, or if a lesbian is corrected by being raped by a man, it's because having this violent experience has reawoken them to their true sexuality. And that's just disgusting. In a landmark book for portraying lesbianism, Ruby Fruit Jungle, the protagonist is awakened to her lesbianism by being raped by her roommate. That's so horrible. Sexual assault is not about sex, it's about violence. So vast majority of the time, and I'm going to put that qualifying statement in there just in case someone comes at me, the person being raped, whether or not they respond physically, they're not going to feel that. They're not going to go, oh, what a horrible experience, but wow, it felt great. No, that's not how that works. Sexual assault is about violence. It's not about sex for either party. And the mere idea that sexual assault can turn someone because they've been reawakened to their true sexuality, whether it be their homosexual sexuality or their heterosexual sexuality, is blatantly false on all accounts. And it's offensive to people who are victims of sexual assault and people who are part of the LGBTQ community, so stop doing that, please. And there's also this concept of corrective rape. This is a real thing. It happens to women, it happens to men, and it's often encouraged by certain groups. And it's this concept that if someone has gay thoughts, then they must be raped by someone of the opposite sex, men raped by women, women raped by men, so that they can fix themselves. This is an absolutely true thing that's actually happened, and it was highlighted in a Law & Order SVU episode rather recently. The fact that it does happen in fiction just seems really gross, but it's a real concept, and it's horrifying. It's a kind of like conversion sort of deal. The other way of going about this, becoming gay because you were raped, is that the sexual assault turns you off. You decide, since I've been raped, I can no longer speak to someone of the opposite sex and therefore must only have sex with women. That's not how that works. It's not how sexual assault works, and it's not how... Probably the most disgusting example of this is actually in a Bond film. The movie Goldfinger, which is absolutely iconic, contains the character of Pussy Galore, who is a lesbian because she's molested as a child. Blatantly wrong. And then switches back because Bond is just so suave. Because that's how that works. What's really sad about this portrayal is that the actress who plays Pussy Galore in Goldfinger, Honor Blackman, when interviewed about how she prepared for playing a lesbian, she said, "I knew she was a lesbian, so I tried to play somebody who had been abused as a child." That's not what it means to be a lesbian, and that's just very confusing and really sad. And I promise, not all lesbians were abused as children, and those who were abused as children probably aren't lesbian because of that experience. That's not how that works. It's not how any of this works. So since that idea is super ugly, I want to talk a little bit about the good. And most of this comes from one place, but this one place is just so amazing. I'm going to talk a little bit about Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Brooklyn Nine-Nine has two very strong LGBTQ characters in Captain Holt and Rosa Diaz. Rosa Diaz recently came out as bisexual in the show, like her actress, in season 5, and it was a massive deal. It was super casual, but also respectful, and what's really notable about these two characters is not only are they not straight, but they're not white either. So they're people of color in the LGBT community, which you don't see represented very often, and they're just going about living their happy, beautiful lives, and Holt and Kevin are just so adorable. They can put a smile on absolutely anybody's face. They're amazing. And it's just really refreshing to see characters who are people of color and who are not straight, who are living just as good of generally good lives, just like their heterosexual counterparts. And that's just really refreshing. So that's my good, the bad, and the ugly, or really the bad, the ugly, and the good of LGBTQ characters in fiction. Once again, almost everything that I said today came from a friend of mine, so I want to thank her very much for her input and her notes, because I probably wouldn't have felt very comfortable doing this without her. So thank you very much. You're the best. Happy Pride. I hope everyone can get out to a parade if you want to, or stay home and just curl up with your stuffed animals, because that's probably what I'm gonna do. And everyone just has a lovely time this month and in your lives. And as always, I'll link my social media in the description down below. Please check those out. And I really hope you liked it. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy it. I post new videos on Thursday, so hopefully I will be on time next week. And I will see you next week. Bye.